Hey everyone, welcome to Struggle City.
You didn't wait 5 seconds.
Nope. I'm the editor. I do whatever the fuck I want.
Such a lie. What the hell? I wasn't ready. I asked you if you were ready. You didn't ask me if I was ready.
Get out of my seat.
You know how I live my life? I live my life on the edge.
No, you don't. That's such a lie.
It totally is.
A
Not a lie.
yes.
You're as edgy as a spoon.
I live my academic and professional life on the edge of my seat.
That's the one thing you shouldn't live on the edge by.
I know, and by that I'm
You
living
are
my
very-
entire life on the edge.
You are very cavalier with your schooling.
Yeah, like that entire peer review that I
That
forgot to
you
turn
totally
in.
forgot. 2 days late. It's 2 days late
So
now.
proud of you.
I haven't even turned it in yet.
I don't think you're going to.
Nope.
Alright, so...
I'm gonna wait until she emails me. I'm gonna be like, shit.
What professor is this?
I'm not naming names.
Does it begin with an R?
No.
No, it's for an
M.
education course, which is even worse.
Yeah, and I didn't like her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I will be leaving potentially a bad review.
Really?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
It is a bad class. Not great.
She's a bad teacher. And she thinks she's so
Alright,
great.
get on with your shit.
No.
Yeah, I was expecting this class to be better than what it was, but the new teacher was way more and definitely exceeded my expectations.
You're laying it on
Oh
a
my
bit
god.
thick.
A little bit. Anyway, so Dave, Missy, and Casey, and Dave. are-
Good, choke on it. Choke, bitch.
Oh my god, I'm trying.
So- anyway, so
You didn't eat. How are you so giddy?
I ate some crimpets in the car while I was waiting for
Ate
you
what?
guys. Crimpets, they're like Twinkies.
Oh, ew.
Oh yeah,
They're
they're like
delicious.
the tan ones, right? With the cream on top.
Yeah, and the cream in the center.
Oh,
The gooey.
you got the cream in the
Yeah.
center?
I do. I have Pop-Tarts in my bag too.
Oh my
But
god,
I
I
don't
just
eat
have a half a gallon of green tea.
Well, at least tea is healthy. My crimpets are not. Anyway.
That's just sugar water, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
It's
god, wait.
sugar water that makes you pee.
Can I? Okay, I'm gonna go down a quick side street, even though we're not
You didn't
even
even
starting
We're-
on
We're
topic.
fucking 2.5 minutes in.
No,
We are-
okay, so yesterday I was driving and I had a Snapple bottle and I had to stop because I had to look around and see.
You have to pee in the bottle.
No, but
Been
I
there,
went.
done that.
I went to. I can't do that, but I went to drink.
Yes, you can.
If you try hard enough.
No, they make things so that girls can pee in bottles called
Yeah.
shiwi.
Right, but I can't do it by myself.
No, you can. It's like
Don't I need the shiwi?
well, you do, but
It's like a-
that's what I mean.
you can also just use a funnel.
It's like it is a funnel. That's
But
what a
you guys don't
shiwi
need
is.
that. You can just whip it and go. I have to
It's not a fire hose.
Whip it.
It kind of
and go.
is. It
No,
kind
it's
of
not.
is.
It's not that pressurized.
I mean,
Anyway, let me tell my Snapple story.
Just tell your fucking story.
Okay, so I was slowing down and undoing the lid to my Snapple, and then I came to a stop. And then I went to drink, and then for some reason I went to go, and so much Snapple came all over my face and onto my shirt. And I was very upset about it. So, that's my Snapple story.
That's
I'm
your
so proud of you.
Mrs. Snapple Bukaki.
Whatever. That's nasty. Anyway, so we are talking about expectations versus reality in regards to student teaching because today was my last day. It was my last day. And it's funny because I'm not as upset or emotional about it as I was with my practicum last semester, and I think that's because I know that my adult life is next. Like,
I mean, it's now. Your adult life is
I know,
now.
I know. But like last
Your
semester,
adult life is now.
but last semester it was like, oh, I still have student teaching to worry about, and now it's like I don't have anything to worry about except finding a job.
And bills and more stuff than just that.
Right. Well, yeah, but so yeah, so
Adult stuff.
right. So Dave is doing practicum next semester, and if he sticks with it, he will eventually be doing student teaching.
Those poor kids.
Yo, really?
Honestly, Dave, I feel like you would be better in a primary setting.
I thought about that, and then I went and observed primary. I'm like, I would not be able to mentally do it.
Okay.
Little
Like,
kids
at
are
all.
a bit much sometimes.
They can be.
Like, I wouldn't be able to teach it. I wouldn't have the attention span. I would have about the same attention span as the students.
Well, that's a problem.
Like, at least with high schoolers, there's a level of okayness for a tangent here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's not with kids.
With little kids, there's no room for error.
Yeah, I get that.
Because they will overrun you and then take over the room.
I mean, so will high school kids,
all
but
you
I
have
totally
to do
get it.
is severely punish one, and then hang their body in the front of the classroom
Oh my
to set
God.
precedent. Like the zoo does. The Elmwood Park Zoo has like effigies of dead crows and dead vultures in their trees to ward off vultures.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It doesn't work, but
I mean, the vultures just kind of sit in with the eagles.
right, and just steal their food.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
kinda
it's like that idea.
Yeah.
Like you just take a little kid, and you skin them, and you hang them in the front of the room.
Or just cut their head off and put it on a stick.
Yeah, skin them, and then put it in the front of the room, because then you can use the child's skin to make yourself a nice pair of shoes.
My students did say they really liked, like, all of my shoes.
Wow.
Just saying. I'm just saying. So anyway, it was
we
my
got off
last
topic.
day, and my student teaching experience overall was extremely spoiled. I have been so spoiled because I got to do what I really liked, which, oh my god, that's teaching anyway, which is not 100% true. Like, but I got to teach Hamlet, so it was easy for me because I really enjoyed it. And I only had 3 classes, and my biggest class was 21 kids, and my smallest class was 16.
It's not bad.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad at all, and I was done. Like, I didn't have any more classes after 12:15.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was spoiled as fuck. So yeah, I told Dave that I would talk to him about what it was really like, and I asked him, why don't you think of some questions beforehand so that we're not just twiddling our thumbs? Did he do it?
Nope.
No.
Why would you expect him to do that?
Because
You know how this boy rolls.
Expectations
but-
versus reality.
exactly.
Your
so,
expectations were too damn high, and the reality is super fucking low.
I mean, I do have very high expectations for a lot of things.
Yeah, you do.
I do, because I think that's healthy.
No, I do too.
You know.
It's also kind of led me to just like quit dating. It's just so high.
Speaking of dating, did I tell you that with one of my classes, the one day, like, we were supposed to finish watching Hamlet, and half of the class wasn't there, so it was kind of like, well, we'll just wait for them to come back in the next day.
Yeah.
So I talked to them about college and my experience and what I wanted to do and all this, and it eventually led to, how old are you? And I was like, how old do you think I am? And they were like, you could pass for, like, 19. And I was like, oh my god. I could pass for a baby.
You think I skipped all those years of schooling? You think I'm that smart?
Well, then
oh my
somebody
God.
was like, I think you're like
Regular Doogie
22.
Howser.
And I told them I'm 24, and then they...
He's gay.
What?
Yeah. So it fits.
Sure.
But she's only half gay.
I am half
He's
gay.
full gay.
I'm totally okay with saying it like that. I am half gay.
Doogie Howser, big gay.
He's big gay. Oh my God.
Okay, anyway.
Doogie Howser was Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah,
That
he's
was-
very gay.
That was like his first big acting role where he played a child prodigy that was a doctor.
Oh, neat. I like him.
And that was the premise of the show. Was Doogie Howser, MD, was like a little kid in scrubs in a hospital.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. MPH is like one of my idols. Love that man.
NPH. Yeah, he's awesome. I do like him a lot.
I do like his family Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Yes.
so cute.
Those are solid.
Yeah,
Those
they
are
are
very well
cute.
done.
And he
And I
seems like a
hate
really good
Halloween.
dad. I love Halloween.
Well, yeah, he's 1 and 2.
Well, right. 2 is better than 1 sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, okay, the whole reason that I brought that up was because then another student had asked me, are you married? And I said, no, but let me tell you something.
Marriage is a scam
Well, I told
created
them,
by the bourgeoisie.
I told them that I've been with the same guy for like 8 years. Dave's dying.
Oh
Are you okay?
You're
Yeah.
coughing into my cup.
Drink your tea.
You disgusting chud.
So,
Choke on that tea.
The Snapple story. He's gonna spray that all over the computer.
Don't! Where will I see my porn?
That you watch for fun. Well, everybody watches it for fun. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, God. Okay, so, today I had mentioned... Stop it. Today I had mentioned that, Joe calls me on my way home, and I have, like, an hour drive home, and they were like, so what do you talk about? And I was like, you guys. Like, I tell him about my day. Like, I tell him all about you.
You little pricks.
Right. Sometimes I say that. Not to them, but about them.
Damn.
But that's why I told them, like, I wanted a picture with them to be able to be like, oh, here's this student, here's that student.
Like that awkward one we did for Rampelli.
Oh, my nipples?
Yeah.
We wanted to do that, though, not her.
Oh, yeah. Where Dave's teats are just, like, in full.
They are. They are erect.
Look at my
Ready.
nips.
Yeah.
They are perky.
They were indeed, my man.
All right.
So let's, now that we're, like, 10 minutes in.
11.
Okay. Let's, actually talk about what we plan to talk about.
Yeah, do the thing.
So, Dave, why don't you start off by telling me, like, your biggest fears about student teaching? Or teaching in general, really.
Yes.
And go.
Did you really?
Yes, I did, because I am not going to be the only one carrying this conversation. This was your idea.
Oh, no, I completely agree. It's just, like, where do I begin with that? Because even, like, trying to organize thoughts of where that fear begins and where...
Trying to organize Dave's thoughts in general.
Yeah.
It's like trying to wrangle a couple of crackheads on South Street. It's impossible.
No, that is easier to do than you think.
Okay, so...
It's easier than wrangling my mind. What's a metaphor?
That was a simile, actually, so I can't say what a metaphor is. Try again next week. Anyway.
All right. Damn, fucking shut down immediately.
I hate this conversation.
What conversation? All right, so my fear mostly is not knowing if this is correct for me. That's where a lot of my fear is stemming from.
Yeah, you might be right.
So, I will assure you that I had that same exact fear. And I had that in my first practicum especially. I had that a little bit in my second practicum. I had that in the beginning of my student teaching. And it is a fear that I don't think will really go away until you're like 5 years into it. Into like actually teaching. Like I think it's one of those things where you kind of just have to do it, you know?
No, I completely agree. Which is why I kind of kept with it. And practicum is kind of like that first big teller.
Yeah. And it's so different being up in front of a room of kids versus observing and versus doing all these other things. Where's your practicum? If you don't want to say the school on air, that's fine. Just
All right. No, it's local to this area.
Okay. So, have you been in contact with your co-op?
No, not at all. Not yet.
Okay, email that person.
I haven't been given any information yet.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
How do you know the school?
Because I had to give her specific things for that district.
Oh, that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get in.
It's going to be in this area, so
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. So one of my big things with my first practicum, I was absolutely terrified, and my co-op didn't really do anything to help me with that. The other thing is, like, my first lesson that I taught, like, I got up there and I instantly froze, and I thought, okay, I have to read exactly from my lesson plan, and what if I don't know the material enough, and what am I going to do when everybody's quiet, and I have nothing to say? And,
That's a rarity.
Huh?
So that's a rarity.
Yeah, funny. We were just talking about how much I like to hear myself talk, because I'm a narcissist sometimes. But
Sometimes desist.
yeah, sometimes desist. So that almost sounds like a time traveler or something. Anyway,
Sometimes
Yeah.
desist.
yes.
Anyway.
I don't know. It just did to
Just
me.
get
So,
back on track.
oh my god. So
I'm trying to keep you all on track.
the first lesson I taught was about a plot diagram. And the thing was, they all knew what a plot diagram was already. So I had underestimated the fact that, what am I going to do now? Like, a backup. like you have to have several backup plans for your backup.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of planning.
Did you have to explain what a denouement was?
A what?
Bless you.
Denouement.
Oh, I don't think we even touched on anything about that. I don't remember.
It's just the falling action.
Oh, I didn't even know what that was.
It's what comes.
Casey likes to do this thing where he makes me look stupid on air.
How do you not know what a denouement is?
Did you know what it is?
Nope, no idea.
There you go. And we're the English people. Not that you're not, but you're only half English. Your other half is science.
You're only half gay.
Oh no. Yeah. I'm half gay, half straight.
You're only half gay.
I'm only half English on my mom's side.
Well, I mean that's kind of true. I am a decent amount English as well.
But I'm full English on both sides.
My God. So. So that's the big thing. Like, you also have to keep in mind, like, you don't know these students. You barely remember their fucking names. When you're
like my friends.
Yes. So when you're doing your practicum, you're not going to have any type of connection with these kids. So that makes it 10 times harder. So in a way, student teaching was a lot easier because of that factor alone. Like, okay. I knew who I could, like, play around with and make fun of.
They're all underage. What are you doing?
I knew you were going to go there, too.
I was
fucking
waiting for
knew it.
As
I
soon,
knew it.
As soon as you said that, Casey's eyes lit up. I'm like, all right, well, that's going to be said.
Okay, so talk to me then. What else? What else you got?
I had something.
Okay.
Come on, Dave.
But I kind of feel like you answered it.
Okay.
But what...
Those Missy abusers.
Have you ever used the paddle?
You gotta get the one with like the holes in it, so it gets more smooth.
Yeah.
And it whistles.
Then you have to make it like. So, that's a topic for another conversation. Anyway, keep going.
So what? When did it click?
It clicked halfway through student teaching, and I felt it fucking happen. like to the minute I understood it, and it's. Go ahead.
No, keep going. I'll hold on to it. I have another question, but I'll hold on to it. You keep going.
So, this happened like right after I fucking blew it. I was being observed, and I was absent the day before because I was sick. And so I came in, I wasn't really sure where they were, I wasn't sure what I was doing, like, things were just going wrong. And I talked to my supervisor about it afterwards, and I just burst into tears, and I was like, this is awful, like, I'm never gonna be good at this, and all these things, and she's like, everybody has this meltdown. So, prepare yourself for said meltdown, because it'll happen. But after that...
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Did it already happen?
No, not yet.
Find a good closet to cry in.
Yeah.
Or a desk. Let's hide behind a desk.
You can't really get a whole lot of privacy there.
That's fine.
That's okay. But then the next week, we were really getting into Hamlet. I did more planning, where it's like I actually paid attention to what I was going to say, the things I wanted to highlight. So it was more about the things I wanted to highlight and bring up versus, okay, I'm going to say this first, then this, and then we're going to go to this. So the chronological order of things didn't really matter. It was more of the subject matter, which that sounds very simple and kind of obvious, but
not in the moment.
Right.
It's
right.
it's a hindsight thing.
Right, exactly. So once I figured that out, it all just kind of worked, and I was kind of like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go for it. And I kind of let everything go, and I was myself in front of the kids, which is extremely helpful, because for a while I was trying to be like, okay, I'm going to pretend that I'm 6 foot tall, and I'm going to have my shoulders back, which, you know, made me feel more authoritative in some way.
Made you feel about 5'2".
Yeah. And I felt like I had to keep putting on a show, but then it was kind of like, I'm just going to be myself a little bit more, not to the point of where they all think, like, I'm friends with them, but, you know.
Yeah, it's that level of incorporating the actor with the self and melting that in, because teaching is just simply a show of portraying information.
It is. It really is like a show, like you're acting all the time.
It's like, you know what we should all do? I was just thinking about this, and you definitely just, like, cemented that seed. we should take improv classes.
Oh God, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
Because
Do it.
that is what teaching is.
Let's fucking do it.
It is,
It
yes.
is
but...
improv.
Joe did improv for a while. He did, and he
Improv's
was
perfect.
good at it. He
Improv's
was.
fun.
You did
Never
it too?
done anything.
No, I'm just good at thinking on my feet.
Oh, okay. See, that's the thing though. Like thinking on your feet, like you said, like it is all acting.
Like all my stupid jokes.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun, but I can't do it like on a stage or anything. But I remember this one time, quick side street, Joe did his improv. He was in a club at Bucks for it, and they put on a play. Well, not a play, but like a show.
Mm.
And he comes out holding some bitch's hand.
Oh.
And we were only like, I want to say like 3 years into it at that point. And I was
still 3 years.
I know, but I was sitting next to his mom, and she looked over at me, and she was like, "You calm down, like it's acting." And I was like, "He's holding her hand. I swear to God, if he kisses her, I'm gonna be pissed." And oh my God, I was
it's not
jealous.
Like it's not like he was checking her oil.
I've never heard it said like that before, and
Dips,
I don't like
yeah.
it. Oh, I don't like that.
Just stick it in. That
Ew.
Get a paper towel, wipe it off.
you don't need a paper towel. Just...
I was gonna say that too, but I was like, I don't want to be gross.
You don't lick oil.
You look so mad about it. So
That's gross.
What was your other question? Now getting back to our actual conversation.
So what is practicum? I feel like student teaching's more understood and demystified, but practicum is kind of like like no one talks about it.
It's cum that serves a purpose.
But it's like this weird mystical thing that hasn't exactly been described by anyone very clearly.
So practicum is like baby student teaching.
Okay.
So it's you getting your feet wet. So you only go once a week. And the first practicum makes sense for that. The second one, what? You call me an expert? I'm not an expert, but I know more about it than he does.
She's almost graduated.
I know. I'm done. Like, I don't have any other classes. So for the second practicum, you should have to go twice a week, but you don't. So the first and second practicum are the same thing. The only difference is your experience. So
And grade level, usually, right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you get to pick the grade level, or was that just
No.
assigned? Okay.
It was assigned, and mine was backwards. So I started with high school first and then went to middle school. It's supposed to be the other way around
Yeah.
because middle schoolers are easier to deal with, and it's true.
Yeah.
For the most part, it always depends.
Yeah.
So you go in, and you only have to teach 2 lessons. That's it. You also have another set of assignments where it's like you have to do teacher observations, you have to do a couple of essays, you have to do a visual representation, or like a small group type of activity that you do with the kids or something, and you have to write about it. So it's all of these little...
What's a visual representation?
Like a bulletin board.
A bulletin board
Yeah.
or...
Like a PowerPoint?
No. Physical.
You have to be able to like go up to it and learn from it, and yeah. So a
Take out the
bulletin board.
Go to it, touch it,
Right.
flick it, cup it.
Okay.
Twist it.
Suck it.
Wow.
Punch it.
Bop it.
Hey, Macarena.
So I don't recommend doing the bulletin board because that took me a while to do in student teaching. Like it took me like...
What if I already done one?
Have you done one?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah, I've helped my aunt for the past couple of years.
Nice. So you already know what the fuck you're doing. Then you're fine.
Yeah.
So you can, I mean, it all depends on who your supervisor is too, because she might want you to do certain things that other people wouldn't care. But it's mostly observing and walking around to see if the kids need help with like group work and individual work and that type of stuff.
Sounds exciting.
I actually did look forward to my second practicum, like going every week. But the thing is, like I said, you're only going once a week.
Yeah.
Bless you. So you can't do too much in that time. And then, since you're only there once a week, you also get nervous as fuck to teach.
Mm.
And the nice thing was that the kids knew, like, okay, she has somebody coming in here to watch her and grade her, like, let's be nice. You know, so again, it depends on the kids, but
It's a group effort.
right. So you might have that in your corner. Like when I was at the middle school, they took forever to shut up. And so they had this thing where, like, if you put, like, a peace sign up in the air, they would all look and give you the peace sign, and then they would shut the fuck up. So I didn't realize that. And so one of my students at the time was like, Miss Henry, go like this, go like this. And so I did that, and then everybody shut up. And I was like, and I went over to her later, and I was like, thank you. Because my supervisor was looking at me like, okay, like, you have to get control of this classroom. But yeah, so another thing with Practicum, especially my first one, I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch and I'm only going to do what I have to do. And that was a big mistake. Like, me teaching 2 lessons, I wish I would have taught 4.
Okay.
So if your co-op offers, like, hey, do you want to teach another lesson? Fucking do it.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my question. Do you have the ability or opportunity to do more than one day or, like, more lessons?
You can't do more than one day. Okay. But I mean, it depends on your co-op, but you can do more than 1 lesson, or more than 2 lessons, and I would recommend it.
I feel like you would want to do as many as you can in this short amount of time that you're given.
But it's scary. It's really scary.
Right, but in order to get over the scary, you do.
Yeah,
you
a lot
do as much as you can.
Right. But then, like, you also don't want to be the type of person where it's like, you get up there, you say a part of what you're going to say, and then you freeze, and then you're like, oh shit, like, what am I even teaching right now? And then you look over to your co-op and you're like, help, and then they have to come in and help you, because then you have no authority over the kids. So, it's all about getting your feet wet.
Across the face.
Yeah, I wish. Yep. We talked about that on the last podcast. Yeah, so that's essentially Practicum. And then the other thing with Practicum too, sorry, is that
she just keeps going.
You're not fully into it. Like, you can help your co-op by, like, making copies of things and, you know, grading this paper and grading that paper, but you really don't know, like, can I make this out of 11 points or can I make it out of 10 points, or, like, what qualifies for this earning all points versus no points. It's all of these little details that you don't think about until you're in student teaching and you're the teacher. So, yeah, anyway, you were saying.
I want to apologize for all the coughing spikes.
You're disgusting, Dave.
He's got some allergies.
You're diseased.
It's bad. I am. I have the Gettysburg.
The plague.
The consumption.
The Kittysburg. Honestly, I don't have anything else.
No?
No, in your little continuous talking.
Yeah.
you pretty much quelled a lot of some of my questions. Some might come up, but you know, I have your number, so that's no big deal. I mean, I won't do anything for you guys. But I mean, like, at the end, fuck y'all. I don't know. Like,
that was rude.
Just email us, I guess, if you have any questions.
Have you ever gotten an email?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, can I ask you a couple questions then?
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
I'll see if I can answer.
You. Okay, so when you get to student teaching, do you have any idea of what you want to teach? I know it's English, but, like, unit plan ideas.
Nope.
Okay. I would think about that.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much. I'm gonna do a lot of research over break.
Well, let me know if you need any help with anything, because there were, like, points too where I didn't know, like, where to start. Like, where the fuck do you start?
How much for your binder?
You're not getting my binder. I love my binder. I love my Hamlet binder.
How much for the contents of your binder?
I can send you pictures.
I think her binder can be bought.
How much? Because I still have, like, my flash drive with all of that in it.
Right, but, like, Dave,
how much for the flash drive?
You are not getting my flash drive.
Paying for the completed project, boy.
Yeah, because then you don't have to put it together.
Right.
Oh, good point.
That was a lot of printing and putting things together.
It's a lot of paper.
You can assemble that binder?
No, that's the reason why I should probably get the flash drive. Because even the professors know I can't assemble that kind of binder.
Well, so my big thing was, where do we start? Because I met with Heather.
Where do we go now?
Yeah. And I asked her, like, okay, so what is the curriculum exactly? Like, what do we have to cover? And there's no curriculum. So I don't know if you knew that, but, like, it's kind of like, okay, we were given British literature. And that's it. And you just roll with it. So you kind of decide, where do you start? Then where do you go? And with English, we did it based on a timeline. So we started with mythology, and then we went to the Renaissance, and then into Shakespeare, Hamlet, and now she's into Restoration and satire. So the kids are starting fucking swift with Modest Proposal.
Oh, you know what's funny?
I hate it.
My unit plan was on the Enlightenment period.
Oh, really?
So guess how I opened up my lessons? Jonathan Swift and A Modest Proposal, because he is considered an Enlightenment writer.
I can't stand that piece. I really hate it. But the kids love it, so whatever.
I mean, eating babies, that's pretty great.
Pretty great.
The thing is, though, like, it always...
The breeding, the raising of babies to be eaten.
Like cattle.
So good.
See, first of all, the like cattle thing makes me sad because I love cows. Second of all, we always end up talking about abortion. And it's like, I can't do that. You've never talked about that in regards to Swift?
No.
Really?
People usually get way too turned off because I get really into the cannibalism.
And that's usually where I take it to.
Because it's what it's about. And, like, he raises good points.
Like, it just
yes, but it's more focused on how do we solve the homeless problem.
Hunger.
And hunger, but it was also homeless.
It was
mostly hunger.
But it was also homeless.
Hunger. Homeless was like an underlying thing that kind of got solved because we were eating.
Yeah.
We over in Ireland, you mean?
Yeah, the young.
The young.
The English were eating the young.
That was never a route that any of my discussions about that.
Mine always go that way. Always fucking goes that way. Because that's another problem, quote, that can be solved, and I just don't think that way, so it's kind of like meh. But yeah, so you can go to other teachers, like, so I was in 11th grade, so you can go to 10th grade teachers, English teachers, and be like, hey, what did you cover last year, and where did you leave off? And then you can pick it up from there, but you also don't know, at least with this school district, you didn't know what the fuck you were teaching until, like, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before school started.
Cool.
Yeah. So I don't like that, because...
what are you talking about? That's plenty of time
to
get shit together.
It's really not, though.
Like the first month.
Maybe the first month, sure, but then it's like, I would like to know ahead of time of what I'm doing. Like, more than that.
Who needs to know what they're doing?
Hey!
I don't.
Yes, I do.
Bullshit.
Because I want more binders like that. Like, Heather has, like, 24 binders of different subjects, and it's amazing. Like, I just want to live in those binders.
Missy's in the binding.
I've tried it.
It's
okay.
It's not where I was taking it. But...
Okay, you're also extremely vanilla, though, and we're not. So,
yeah, like... I know, but I knew where that was going. And...
What is cooking downstairs?
Brownies.
It smells like brownies.
It smells fucking good. Anyway.
Skinny trousers.
So, yeah, you have to kind of figure out where to even take it. And Heather, for example, didn't even want to focus on, like, romanticism. She said that she's going to skip romanticism.
Don't blame her.
I don't mind romanticism.
It's okay. I feel it's important to mention, but, you know, get over that hump.
Well, then the other thing, too, because I was asking her, what else are you going to teach? And she was like, well, I'm probably going to skip romanticism. And she said that after Christmas break, they'll come back and they'll all kind of split. So she has 3 classes of English, and she has 1 avid class. And so the English classes, the honors kids will read Frankenstein. The B-level kids will read Night. And the A-level kids will read either 1984 or Lord of the Flies. So it's all very kind of, like, split. And the reason, she gave me, like, all these different reasons as to why these kids are not reading this book, and these kids are reading this book. And so I think that's where it would get a little confusing and difficult to keep up with. But Frankenstein's awesome, and Night is easy.
Yeah.
I mean, not emotionally easy, but...
It's an easy read,
right.
But on that emotional level.
Right.
It's a little rough.
It's very rough. And, and these kids didn't know about concentration camps. They didn't know about...
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. So, okay, the one day we were playing Kahoot to go over Hamlet, and somebody put their name up there as Anne Frank, and it pissed me off. And I was like, whoever that is, take it down. You can't do that.
She's the world champion of hide and seek.
Stop it. Stop it.
I thought that was the other guy.
Huh?
El Chapo?
No, Bin Laden.
Oh.
Oh my god. So anyway, I told them, I was like, that's pretty ignorant to do that. Like, you can't do it. And they were like, well, why? Who was she?
How?
They don't know who she was. They didn't know about her diary. They didn't know. They know about World War II. They know.
Apparently not.
They know it was a war. They know, like.
I mean, it's in the name.
Right. So, but, like, I don't remember if it was them or somebody telling me a story of how their kids didn't know Hitler. They didn't even know the name Hitler. Yes.
At least you're not like Bert Kreischer and mix up Anne Frank and Helen Keller.
Quick question.
Yes.
Did they know about World War One?
Probably, but
I mean, like, if they knew about World War II, I would hope they would assume.
But see, here's the thing, like...
That makes me concerned.
Like, war is horrible, yes, but there's a difference between, like, oh, yeah, World War I versus concentration camps and that whole aspect of it. You know what I mean?
World War I's pretty terrible, too. So it was the
yes,
birth
but it wasn't
of chemical
this...
weapons and...
Biowarfare.
Yeah.
Sure, but we didn't kill millions and millions of... Well, we didn't.
The moral implications behind World War II are way more horrific than the actual war itself.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't know about it.
That's insane.
So I almost want to be there to see how they take this, because I have a feeling like a couple kids in my mind, I feel like they're going to be like, this didn't really happen. Because now, I mean, there's always been people who have said the Holocaust never happened.
Oh yeah, those are some great nut jobs.
I really want to take them to the Holocaust Museum.
Oh, no,
like, you can't make that up.
That's pointless.
You can't make that up. It's
like,
all right there.
It's like flat earthers. You can't convince them otherwise.
It's upsetting, and I don't want these kids to be like that, but I don't think they've really been taught this.
No, it's a matter of whether or not they've been taught this, or whether or not they retain what they've been taught.
But with that topic, I feel like you retained.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would fucking think.
I'd hope, because it's just awful. Like, I felt sick to my stomach the first time I read Night.
I'm still trying to register.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. What?
Yeah. Like, do you remember that one part in Night where,
The sun comes up?
No. Oh my God. No. The part where, somebody is being hanged and they don't die for, like, a whole day or something?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because hanging somebody is not a guarantee to kill them.
No.
You're lucky to break your neck.
Right, that's what you hope.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you're praying for a broken neck.
Well, people in the audience want the latter.
Well,
It's upsetting, but...
there's good entertainment, and then there's,
Yeah.
better for the person involved.
Yeah.
And I almost wanted to tell them this, like, quick little story, but I didn't, because I had a feeling, like, maybe they would laugh, and I was going to lose my shit if they laughed. So my, quote, uncle, it's not really my uncle, he works at Acme. He's, like, the head guy over there. You alright?
Yeah, my foot's going to sleep.
But this woman would come in. He looked like he was,
Coming?
a little bit. A little bit.
Maybe that's my thing. Anyway,
Maybe it is.
Your
I don't
uncle,
know.
not uncle.
Yes. So he works in Acme, and every week this woman would come in, and sometimes she would buy, like, groceries, at a food store. But she would, I know. But sometimes she would just come in and buy, like, 3 giant things of toilet paper. Every single week. And he went up to her the one day, and he's like, listen, I know it's none of my business, but, like, I gotta ask, like, you come in every week and buy...
I'm afraid of where this is gonna go.
Well, like, multiple things of toilet paper. And she was like, listen, I was in the Holocaust, like, I was in a concentration camp, and I will never go without toilet paper again. Ever. And I was like, that is so upsetting. In, like, this really, like, heart-wrenching, disgusting type of way that just makes me feel so upset. Like, that's fucked up. Like, because you start thinking about, like, the conditions they had to endure, and it's like, oh my God. Like, so I didn't want to tell that to the class because I feel like they wouldn't have understood. So, anyway, they're gonna read that.
Yeah.
That's where that's going. But yeah, so trying to figure out where to go with everything. Because it kind of, and it depends on the school, but it's also, you kind of have free range with what you can teach, which is pretty cool, but at the same time, it's so broad that, like, you have no idea.
It's very daunting.
And you want to make sure that the kids, it's something that will hopefully hold their attention.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought Hamlet was going to hold their attention. And, for some it did, but by the end of it, they were all kind of like, what the fuck? Like, they were not happy with the end of it at all, even though it wasn't the fact that it was a tragedy.
Right.
Because they all knew that, and they knew that he was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way that he died. They were kind of like, are you kidding me?
It's the comedy aspect of it that they were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
His procrastination pissed them all off. And it's so funny because before we even started it, one of the students asked me, he was like, Miss Henry, why do you like Hamlet so much? And I was like, well, let's read it, and then I'll tell you about it after. And they all hated it. I was like, are you serious?
Down, Miss Henry.
God damn it, Miss Henry.
They all said that well, not all of them, but they said they liked Romeo and Juliet better than Hamlet. And I was like, listen, I love both, but tell me why. Like, argue your points.
Right.
And they were kind of like, well, it's a love story. And I was like, you can argue that Hamlet's a love story. And they were like, how?
It's absolutely a love story.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not
It's-
crazy.
For whatever it's worth, his love with Ophelia, his love for his father,
Yeah.
his love for his mother.
Okay. I'm like really excited.
You know, I think that we should do, what is it?
Old English? We speak Old English?
We speak Old English.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm so ready to talk about Hamlet.
And the first episode of that should be, Hamlet.
Did you see the questions I had prepared?
I told you, I just flipped through it. I didn't read it.
I've got like 15 questions that I asked the kids to prepare for when we did our Socratic seminar, and it was wonderful, and they all really, really liked the Socratic seminar.
Most students do. It's the best way of teaching.
Yeah.
It is.
Honestly, it is.
I mean, we didn't touch too much on, like, things of how Hamlet relates to the world, which, I mean, they did answer a question about that, like, how does Hamlet relate to today, and, you know, how does literature and society coexist with each other and influence each other, and we mostly just talked about, like, all of the uncertainties, like, does Hamlet really love Ophelia? Does this really happen? You know? So they were all really into that, but I wish that they were more into, like, how does Hamlet fit into today? We did talk about mental illness, though.
I was about to say, mental illness is a huge thread.
Yeah.
You can't leave that out.
Yeah. We talked about that. We talked about the difference between being mentally ill and being crazy, and they all ran with that, so that was really nice to see. But that right there, overall, when you start student teaching, even when you start practicum, because, like, when I left the middle school, I had so many kids come up to me and hug me and wish me well and all this. I didn't have one kid hug me for student teaching, which I'm a little bummed about. But maybe they didn't know that they can do that.
Touching bad.
It is the
Well, yeah.
to hug a teacher.
It's not as weird to hug a female teacher.
I hugged my classroom management professor on Wednesday and almost cried.
Oh, why?
She's fantastic.
Oh, Dave. That's cute.
It's amazing.
Was that your last day with her?
Yeah, she
Okay.
did, it was her first semester here as full-time,
Oh.
and, she did put in to be in student teaching and practicum and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of leadership courses or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but fucking fantastic woman.
And that's what you want to be. Not a fantastic woman, but a good teacher.
Well,
Dave's got
don't
some
judge
news.
me. Toxic masculinity, okay?
Masculinity.
I
Good job.
Yeah.
can't
So-
talk.
No, that's okay.
Is it though?
Heather said pregnant today instead of pregnant, and the kids lost their fucking shit. It was really funny.
It's like orgasm instead of organism.
That was okay. That was that was kind of another thing. Like when I don't remember if I said this on the air or not, but when that one student came in, I won't say his name, but he's very misogynistic.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes,
That
that one.
Jesus?
Yes, no, not that one. But he came in and he was talking about socialism and how there's no such thing as white privilege and all of this. And when I started talking about my idea of Big Brother and how I kind of think that that's a good idea to have cameras everywhere or microchips, one or the other. I don't think both, because I think both is maybe a little overkill, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Casey's looking at me like, what?
How about cameras that can read microchips?
Oh shit. Stepping it up. So I had mentioned that,
Or
and
no.
he was like, I have a right to privacy. And I was like, yeah, I understand you have a right to privacy, but what do you have to hide? And like, I could see...
You're asking a teen boy. You're asking a teen boy. What do you have to hide?
Yes. I did. I asked him that.
I like my right to privacy. What have you got to hide?
Is there a need to capture him busting a nut inside of a sock?
Ew. Ew. You don't even know what he looks like. I do.
I don't.
Ew.
I don't care.
Oh my god.
There's a good chance he's just jerking in a sock.
And
Or
you
a
know what?
Pooh Bear.
He's a teenage boy. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And that's human fucking
They're
nature.
disgusting.
And do
See,
you know how
that's like-
illegal that is to catch that on camera?
Here's the other thing though. Like, it's not, you guys don't understand. You all think that like we're just watching other people on these cameras. We are not allowed to see the footage. Only like specific people
Who
and
says
AIs.
that's okay?
People who are extremely non-judgmental and almost robotic. And you go through excessive testing. I have thought this out.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
The YouTube.
Yes, I have.
Okay, all right. Hear me out. Currently, right now, the YouTube algorithm right now that we are working with is oh my fucking god. Okay, is the reason why a lot of videos get demonetized, and there is no human interaction at all, and it's just an algorithm that learns from the internet, which is exactly what you're describing. But you wanted to be a little bit more advanced, correct?
Yes, but I also do want
Skynet.
humans in it still.
Well, there are humans, but there has to be the creator needs to ask for that human touch, that human judgment. My cousin runs his YouTube channel and constantly gets demonetized for no reason because the algorithm picks up on one thing he said,
Yeah.
and then it just goes, oh, no money. So
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to comfortably trust any type of algorithm, even with human intervention, to make any type of judgment calls.
But it's not an algorithm. It is people.
But it will come down to an algorithm.
But no, it won't.
Yes, it will.
No,
because
it won't.
No one person will be able to handle that much responsibility.
Did I
and
say
power.
one person though? No, I did not.
No, because it'll come down to one or more people that will have to choose those one or more people that will watch those videos and determine. Like,
Here's the thing too though. Like, what if
the whole thing's a bad idea.
we don't need
Whole
to
thing's a bad idea.
listen, we don't need to have people constantly watching these tapes though.
Then what's the point of it?
Because if somebody says, "Oh, this person raped me," and they're like, "Oh, well, you can't prove it." Now I fucking can.
So
Go look back in
somebody
it.
needs to constantly watch these.
Not
tapes.
constantly. You can go back and search through it through filing cabinets. Losing my fucking mind.
That is a lot of filing
That's a
cabinets.
lot of filing cabinets.
That needs to
I
be
don't think
sorted
you-
by
I
an
don't-
algorithm.
I don't think you understand how filing cabinets work.
Yes,
There
I
needs to be
do.
an algorithm in
Okay,
order to sort
you know
those
what?
into
You know what?
proper
You know what?
spots.
Here's the thing. Nobody agrees with me on this, and I have accepted that. But I can at least argue it. I have solid points, damn it.
All right.
I do. But
Damn it.
everybody, listen.
Hold on.
Everybody always talks about, oh, well, why would you want cameras in the bedroom? For some people, that's their kink. Here's the other thing. Why does that matter? Everybody has sex. Everybody has sex.
No, they don't.
Almost everybody has sex.
Nope.
Yes, they do. How else do we get people? Through sexual relations.
Well, there is this thing called a petri dish.
Turkey basters.
Anyway, hold on. Time out.
What?
No more recording people having sex. No more watching, X, Y, and Z masturbate into a Pooh Bear doll. I want to hear about this microchip idea. Because
I
I'm
think that's-
more on board with that than I am with the video camera idea.
I think I should be a little drunk to talk about this, because that makes it 10 times better, and we're getting way off topic for reality versus expectations.
No,
with
this is
anyway.
totally like what you expect, and then the actual reality of it is totally wrong.
Right.
Okay, but this is specifically
You
for
expected
teaching and
this-
student
you
teaching,
expected
so...
this conversation to go normally. Welcome to reality, bitch.
No, I think we need to say goodbye. I think we're good.
Hold on, wait, Casey, say that one more time, because that's a fucking great thing.
What did I just say?
Welcome to reality, bitch.
I think you said welcome to fucking reality.
No, I said welcome to reality.
Oh, alright. Why do you always have to prove me wrong?
You always have to be wrong.
I'm not! God!
That's the reality of it.
No, it's not! Fucking quit. I don't know why I'm friends with these two.
I don't know I'm friends with me either.
I'm not friends with myself. I'm smarter than that.
Damn, I wish I was. I hate me.
Were.
Anyway, like, subscribe, follow, email us, tell us why Missy's right
Yeah.
or wrong.
I'm right.
Probably wrong.
Fuck you, I'm right. I'm gonna try and say that in every episode now. But seriously, if you are thinking of student teaching one day,
Don't do it.
no, I wouldn't say don't do it, but take
No.
take what I've said into consideration, and the fears that you have are probably the same that I've had, or probably the same that Dave has.
Yeah, and, don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah,
Because
but we know you won't, so it's okay.
It's
And
fine.
that literally, like, let's be real, we're probably only talking to me and Casey later in the future.
Well, no, we get at least 10 per episode on Anchor, and then, 13 to 14 usually on YouTube.
Did
And
you
then-
ever tag David?
Yeah, I
you
shouted.
tag him?
He only
Okay.
has an Instagram.
Oh, really? I thought he had a
Mhm.
Twitter.
Nope, I looked for him
Twitter.
for 20 minutes.
Oh, well, thank you for
Whole 20
trying.
minutes.
And then I searched his name on Instagram, and I so happened to catch him 3 days after he created his account.
Jeez, alright.
So let's just say, hypothetically, I looked for him when he told me to.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Wouldn't have found him.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing I procrastinated on that one.
I did try to find him on Facebook, and I couldn't find him.
No, he is not on social media anywhere except
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, which is kind of weird,
Good
but
for him.
okay.
So maybe I'll message him and I'll reach out.
I did message him, not about that, about something else, like way back when, but he did end up liking it, so at least he acknowledged my existence.
I was gonna email him
There you go, that's smart.
and explain to him that we did drop his name in our episode, and if you'd like to give it a listen, that'd be cool. If not, that's cool. If you want to collab, that's cool. Just throw a leash out. Throw a fucking line out there.
How would we collab?
There's ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll work through the kinks.
Mm.
Tune in next week for another episode of
Oh,
Struggle City.
It's not going to be next
and
week.
P.S. I have been doing research. I don't use Apple at all because I like good things. If you if you feel so inclined to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes podcast or whatever,
That'd be awesome.
that'd be awesome. It also makes us more searchable.
Yes, please do so.
So I think currently we're at 3. So
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bump us up to 5, bitch.
Wow.
Yeah.